Hi all, so this is part 2 of the Python interview preparation series. I hope you have gone through the first video. But before I start today's class, I want to tell you something guys. Actually, I have decided to change the channel name from Ask JOJO to CODKA.org. I have taken this name just to expand this particular portfolio, not only on YouTube, but also on websites. So I'm actually working on that thing also. I just wanted your suggestions, whether this name is good or not. So you can just give me your suggestions in the chat box. So the name of the channel will be codka.org. Actually, I have taken this name from a word which I will explain you later on, but I found this word more interesting and professional than the Ask Jojo name, right? So that is what I wanted to tell you. Now let's come to the uh, part 2 of this series, right? I hope you're enjoying this series. So today in this particular video lecture, I will talk about these topics that were left out in the last video. I have to start from list comprehensions, dictionary comprehensions, functions, as well as recursive functions and lambda functions. Okay, so the objective of this video is to cover these three topics, and later on in the upcoming videos I will be talking about oops concept as well. Okay, and the objective of these videos is to discuss those questions and those concepts which are important for interview preparations, right? So let's start with the list comprehensions. What is list comprehensions? I hope you understand what is a list data structure, because that was the last topic that we were covering, right? Here you can see I have discussed dictionaries, how to work with dictionaries and all. So let's directly start from our list comprehensions. Now there are tuple comprehensions as well, dictionary comprehensions as well. But out of tuple, set, list and dictionaries, list and dictionary comprehensions are the most important ones, right? Why it is so? Because uh, you will get to know. Just see here. Just give a heading, list comprehensions. For example, let's say you have a list 2 comma 3 comma 4 comma 5. Let's say this is a simple list that you're having. What you want to do, you want to multiply each element of this list by 2. Okay, and you want to create a new list in which all the elements are a multiple of 2. So their list comprehension could be very useful, because list comprehension results a list object directly which you can use later on by assigning it to a variable. For example, if I have to create a new list, what I will be doing here, basically, suppose like this, for I in range, and range will be the length of ml. Okay, so the length of ml is 4, so range is 4. It means 0 1 2 3 4, sorry 3, right? So these are the values that I will get from here. Let me just show you what is this. Print I. So in I am getting 0 1 2 3, and I can use these numbers as an index number to fetch these elements, right? Now what I want, let's say, a new array here. I don't want to change this ML, okay? I want to create a new list. So I will create an empty list, let's say array. And here what I will do, I will append some data into this array. So how I want to append, I want to append it like this. ML of I means this index, okay? I will get 2, then 3, then 4, then 5, and I want to multiply these numbers with 2, and then I want to add it into the array, which is empty right now, okay? Let's execute this. So done, no error. Now if I show you my array, so in this array I have all the numbers which are multiplied by 2, right? 2 3 4, so 2 multiplied to 4, 3 multiplied to 6, 4 multiplied to 8, and 10 then. Okay, so this is how we have created a new array which has multiples of these numbers, multiple of 2's with these number, right? Now how list comprehensions could be useful here, see, let's say here I will just create a list. Here I will write a variable that is x. So this x is actually a multiple of 2, and from where I will get x, for x in ml. Okay, from ml I will fetch the number, and then I will multiply that number by 2, and whatever result I am getting, I will store it in this list. So in a single line I'm going to get the same output you see here. See, 4 6 8 10. So that's why Python is so useful, right? It reduces your code. And here, instead of writing a loop, instead of creating an empty variable, then appending something, you can do it directly in a single line. So this is a list comprehension that you are seeing on your screen, right? Now, this is a output that you have got. You can store it in a new variable. Let's say this is a new array. Okay, now you can use new array wherever you want. Simple, isn't it? Right? So this is a list comprehension. Now let's take another example. So this is our example number 2 for list comprehensions. Suppose I have a what can I take? Let's say mm, I have a number. Uh, let's say I have some strings. Okay, Shravan. Then I want uh, mm, Golu, Vicky, like this. These are 3 strings. Let's name this as F names, basically first names, right? And let's create another variable L name. In L name, I will have the last name, that is Shravan, Kumar, comma, Golu, Singh, Vicky, Kaushal, right? So these are the last name, first name, last names. Now the objective is to create a list of full names. So I will have a list like this. I will have Shravan Kumar as one string, and then another another string will be Golu Singh like this, and then Vicky Kausal. I hope you have got the idea what I want in the output. Now in order to do this, we can use list comprehension. See, we can follow this approach, but it will take a lot of time and logic as well. But list comprehension can reduce your work. So here, let's use list comprehension. Just use square brackets like this. And here, what you want x plus y, right? Now, x plus y. What is x? What is y? I don't know. So I need to iterate over my list first of all. Let's take x plus y. Then for x comma y in where? Now since I want Shravan, I want Kumar from this list. See, now I have 2 variables over here. So how I can iterate over them? Basically, I need to use zip. Okay. I need to use a zip function here. So what zip will do? Zip will create a tuple of it will create a list of tuples, and in the tuple you will have Shravan, Kumar, Golu, Singh, Vicky, Kaushal like this. I will show you. See, F name, comma, L name. First of all, let me show you how I'm getting the output. Let's run it. See, I'm getting what I wanted, but there is no space between the strings just because I have no space in between x plus y. So I need to put some space over here. That is, let's give some space over here like this. So I want x plus space, then y value will be concatenated with this string, right? Now it will be fine. See, this is our objective. So in a single line, I have been able to do this. Now, if any of you have confusion on this zip function, just this is for you guys. So copy zip here and see what zip does. It will take first element from first name, second element, oh sorry, first element from last name, and then it will make a tuple of it. For example, zip will give me a zip object. In order to see what is inside the object, I need to convert this zip into list. See, list zip. So here you can see. So what zip is doing? Zip is taking first element from both the list and it is combining into a single tuple. Okay. Now if I have to iterate on this list, I can write this is x, this is y, and then I'm adding this x and y with a space. This is what I'm doing here. Okay. For example, if I have to use a loop here, so I can write for I in list zip of this and then print I. Here you will see a tuple in the output. See, I don't want tuples like this, Shravan and Kumar. Okay. Why I'm getting a tuple? Because I have written only one variable. So whole tuple will be assigned to this particular I, right? Now, if you have 2 variables in, if you have 2 data in the tuple, you can assign 2 variables in the loop. Means you can write I comma j. Okay. Now, if I print I, then I will get only Shravan, Golu, and Vicky like this. Okay. See, if you want both the things, you can write j because now the last name is going to j. Okay, Shravan Kumar like this. So this is what I am doing over here for x comma y in zip f name l name. So from here, actually I'm getting 2 values. So for those 2 values, I have these 2 variables to receive those values. This is how list comprehension work, right? I hope you understand the concept here, right? So this is list comprehension, and according to this, we can manipulate list comprehensions more with different things. Okay, but this is more than enough for this part. Now let's talk about dictionary comprehensions. Again, just like list comprehensions, dictionary comprehension is just a one-liner for creating dictionary objects. How we can do that? See here. Just right here, dictionary comprehensions. Now, mm, let's take any example. Let's say, uh, again, let's take first name and last name like this. Just consider first name only. Okay, and mm, some data for these names, and the data is like this: 10, 15, and 18, like this. Okay, three names, three values. And what is the objective? I want output in a dictionary format, and the name will become the key. Okay, it will be like this, and then here you will have the values 10, then comma, and then we'll have Golu, then 15, and similarly wiki 18. So here you see this is a dictionary, right? So how we can do this using dictionary comprehension? See, uh, let me just comment this part. Okay, this is what I want, so I can easily do this using dictionary comprehension. I want, let's say, key and then a value. Okay, but from where I will get the key and value? Like this: for I, sorry, for key comma value in. Again, you need to use a zip function because you want to combine first name and data, okay, in a tuple. So key comma value, zip, in bracket you can write f name comma data. If I run this, you can see this is what I wanted. So in a single line, I have been able to create a dictionary object like this. Now I can write some variable over here, a, and I can assign the whole output into this particular variable, which I can use again and again. Okay, this is the concept behind dictionary comprehensions. Are you getting this? Okay, so this is about dictionary comprehensions. If I take any other example for this, I can take another example in which I can combine this with a list. For example, let's say what I want in the output, I want values to be multiplied by what? 10. Okay, let's say values to be multiplied by 10. In that case, you can do the same thing. Just take this whole structure, paste it over here, and now this time you don't want only 10, 15, you also want to multiply these values, so you can multiply it with, let's say, 5, like this. So you will get 7, 50, 75. Now the values are getting multiplied over here like this. Okay, so this is how your dictionary comprehension works. Similarly, we have set comprehensions. What set comprehension will do? It will remove the duplicates, but dictionaries will not remove the duplicate values. But yes, it will remove the duplicate keys, right? So set comprehension, tuple comprehensions are not used so much, but the structure for tuple as well as for set comprehension is same. You have to write it like this only, okay, in the same format. Are you getting me? So what is the next topic that we have to discuss? The next topic is our functions, global variables, local variables. Now, functions and object-oriented programming is one of the most important thing in any programming language, and in Python also it is very important. So let's see what are functions. So this is about functions, right? So basically, what is a function? Function is just a block of code which can be executed again and again without explicitly writing it. Means you just write it somewhere and then you can reuse it by calling it. So first thing is you need to call a function in order to execute it. For example, see, I am writing a function which will take one value from you, your name, and what it will do, it will greet you. For example, name, greet, and then it will print hello, comma, then I want name. Okay. Now this is a function. Let's execute it and see nothing happened. But in the memory, greet function has been defined. Now, how can I use this function? By calling it. So I need to call this function greet. And since this function takes one argument because it has one parameter called name. So while calling the function, you have to pass the argument as well. If I don't pass the argument, it will raise error. For example, see what it is saying. It is saying greet function missing one required positional argument. It means I haven't given any value to this parameter. So I need to pass some value also. Let's say I want to write greet, the name is GP. So what I will write, I am calling greet function with the argument GP. So it will say hello GP like this. See, I've called the function and it is giving me this output. That is the benefit of using a function. See, still I want to use greet. I can simply call greet and I can write hello Amit. So what it will do? It will this time it will say hello Amit. Okay. So based on your input, it is giving you the output. Hello Amit, hello GP, hello Golu, anyone. And see, here I haven't defined the code again. Here I haven't defined the code again. I am just calling a function which I have already created. And that is the benefit of a function. Define it once, use it multiple times, as much as you want. That is the benefit of functions. Okay. And how functions are defined in Python? Functions are defined with the def keyword. In Python, we define functions with the help of def keyword. These are called parameters, and the values that you are passing is called as argument. Okay, this is the name of your function, and this is just a print function that you have written inside the function. So basically, this is the function. Now, let's take another example, because if you want to practice programming, only solving more and more questions can make you perfect on this, because this thing does not come by learning it comes with practice only. So I will suggest you to practice more and more questions from my channel or from another channel. Just follow more and more, questionnaires. You can follow some other websites like hacker rank, lead code and all, because they have some good questions also. If you have any doubt on those questions, you can just comment me in the chat box for that. Okay, so let's take another simple example. For example, let's say the question is write a. And one more thing, guys, whenever you are applying for an interview, whenever they ask questions related to functions, they will ask you to make a function which can do this thing, that thing. Okay, means they will take practical interview. Okay, only small companies take oral interviews, otherwise you have to face the practical interviews, and there they can ask you to uh, create a functions which checks even odd, create a function which can generate prime numbers, create a functions which can print the Fibonacci series. So these kinds of questions you can expect whenever you are sitting in an interview. Okay, don't just know the basics that this is how function is created def, because I have seen people, and I even take interviews in Python. I have seen people, they are unable to define functions. What is the advantage of using a function? Okay, so make sure you have good understanding about these things. Now, what is my question? Write a function to check uh, even and odd. Okay, so a user will give the number and you have to check whether it is even or odd, and according to that you have to print the output. So how we can define a function? Using def keyword. Okay, so def, let's say I want to name my function as evodd. So this function will check whether it is even or odd. What it will take? It will take one number. So for that, I am writing one what parameter, right? This is a parameter which will ask for an argument when you will be calling this evodd function. So def evodd num. And now what you have to do? See, do one thing. Let's try to solve this thing without function. Okay, because when we say do this thing with function, people get confused. They are unable to understand, okay, what I have to do with function. See, it's so easy. For example, what you will do without function, you will take one input from the user. You can directly give a number, but if you are giving your interview, try to use something which is more interesting, right? Give dynamic values. So for that, instead of writing a static value like 30, 40, you can simply write input. So whenever you will be executing this cell, it will ask you to enter the value, right? So this is much better. Now here you can write enter the number. So you will give the number now. Okay. Now since the number you are giving is a string format, you want integer, so you need to typecast it integer. And guys, if you are getting confused with integer, string and all, see this is a interview series, right? So I expect you guys have gone through all the videos on Python that I have uploaded on my channel. I don't know from where you're coming. Have you watched that? Have you good understanding on these things or not? But I expect that at least you know these things. But still, if you don't know these things, I will suggest you to go through the Python playlist that I have on my channel. It is Python class lecture series. You can go through that videos, then you can watch this series, because the objective of this series is to just brief you on the important things, important concepts that are essentials for the interview. Okay, so this is typecasting basically. So whatever the number a user is giving, it will be converted into integer format. Now you have to use if condition, because you have to check whether it is even or odd. So a number is even when it is divisible by 2. Okay, otherwise it is odd. As simple as it is. So number modulo 2. So modulo gives the remainder. So if a number is completely divisible by 2, it means there is no remainder, right? So if num modulo 2 equals to 0, means the remainder is 0. It simply means what? Even, right? So here you have to write print even. Simple. Let's run. So it is asking for our input, and let's give 22, and 22 is divisible by 2, so there is no remainder. It means I'm going to get the output as even. But if I give any other number, let's say the number is 25. So 25 is not divisible by 2. It means it's an odd number. Means no output. And I'm not getting any output, not because my program is wrong, but because I have missed something here. Okay. And what is that? I have missed the else part. What if the number is not divisible by 2? I have not written anything for that. So I need to write else part. So else, it is simply print odd. So now it will tell me odd if the number is not divisible by 2. Write 25, hit enter, and this time it is giving output as odd. So now this is a perfect program that I have written without function. Many of the people are able to do it without function like this. Now they face difficulty to integrate this thing with a function. See how easy it is. What do you have to do? Here you are taking the input, right, from the user. And that is what we are doing in the function also. We have written one parameter here that will take an input, okay, when you will be calling the function. Now just copy this part, Control C, and paste it over here. Simple. Just follow the indentation properly. So tab, then print will go inside if, print will go inside else. Now this is a proper function. See, I don't have to do anything. Simple. And now call the function if odd, give the number, because this number will be given to num. Then that number will be checked. So here just write 25 and see odd. Now the benefit of this function is you can use it in another cell. For example, I want to check any other number. So I will give this number, for example. Okay, see, I'm not writing any extra code now, and still it is working, right? And that is the advantage of using a function. Okay, one another advantage of using a function is that whatever variable you are creating inside the function gets deleted from the memory once the function call is over. It means function does it work and then it removes the variable from the memory. It means memory space is, you know, it is saved. So it is more memory efficient programming, and that is what company is looking in you. So this is another very important advantage of using a function. That is it, you know, it drops the variable which is created inside the function. So in this way, it saves the memory also. Okay, I will show you that also. So this is one simple function, uh, right? Now, if you want to see more on functions, if you want to practice more on functions, then you can watch the functions video series, because there I think I have uploaded 5 to 6 videos on functions only. So it is around 6 to 7 hours of class on functions with most of the examples. Okay, prime numbers, Fibonacci series, even odd, strings also. Here I am just checking the concepts only. Okay, now it is working. Okay, what I wanted to tell you, Let's say now, suppose I want to return something from a function. And one more thing, yeah, that I missed. Uh, Local variables and global variables. Okay, what are global variables? A variable which is accessible everywhere in this scope, in this particular session. It's a global variable. A local variable is accessible only inside the function. For example, see here I'm writing b equals to 100, right? And then I'm creating a sample function. And here this is a sample function which does not take any parameter. Okay, and then I'm printing b. See, b variable is defined outside the function, but still I will be able to access this variable and I will be able to print it. Okay, let's run. See, I'm able to print the result. I have not called the function. Let's call the function first of all. See, 100, right? I'm getting the output. See, I'm able to use this function inside the function also. Okay, this variable inside the function. So it's a local variable. What is this? Sorry, it's a global variable, right? Global variable. Now let's write another variable, that is a equals to 200. Now this a equals to 200 is defined inside this sample function. It is not defined outside the function, it is defined inside the function, right? Now let's print b and also print a. This one is a global variable, this one is a local variable. So this is what? Local variable. Let's run it. See, I'm getting output 100 and 200. Now if I print b, I will get the output. See, because b is a global variable, I can call it inside or outside the function. But what about a? Let's check that. Print a and see, it is saying a is not defined. This is what I was saying, that if you create any variable inside the function, it gets deleted as the function overs. Okay, if you want to define a global variable inside a function, then you have to use a global keyword. Okay, what I'm saying, if you have to define a global variable inside a function, then you have to write global there. For example, def sample. Okay, this is, let's say, sample 2 function, and here I am going to write global a. Global a equals to 100. Then let's print a and then call sample. Oh, sorry, there is some syntax error. Global a equals to 100. Okay. Mm, Sample. Sorry, I have to call which function? Sample 2, not sample. So see, I have defined that a is going to be a global variable inside the function and its value is 100. Now I'm printing a, so I've got the output as 100 because here I have called my function sample2, right? Now let's check whether this a is available or not outside the function, and see, now here again a is defined. So now I have defined a global variable inside a function. So how you can define? Using a global keyword. This is how things are asked in the interviews, like how we can create a global variable inside a function. Then you have to answer, sir, by using a global keyword we can define a global variable inside a function. Simple, right? Okay, now one more thing, how to update a global variable inside a function, that is also a thing. So here, let's say there is a variable b, b value is 100. This is a global variable. Now I'm writing a function sample. Always use brackets after sample, okay, or after function name, okay. Now suppose I want to update something here. So what I want to update, I want to update b equals to um, b plus equals to 20. It simply means whatever the value of b is, update 20 in that. Okay, so the value of b is 100 and I want to update 20 in it, so it will become 120. Okay, so let's see whether we are able to do this or not. Print b. Now if I call the function, see, it will give me error. What it is saying? Unbound local error. Local variable b referenced before assignment. We are getting this error. It simply means I am trying to update a global variable inside the function. You can do that, but for that you have to define that here you are using a global variable b. So here just write global b. Okay, now if you run this, see, b value is updated, and even with outside the function you can see this change. Now the b value is not 100, it is actually 120. So I have updated global variable inside the function. Okay, so this change will be reflected outside the function. This is what global variable and local variable means. Okay, now let's come to return part. What is return? What is yield? Okay, these are very important things. Now, whenever you call function, it generates something. And if you want to assign the results of a function into a variable, then you have to use a return keyword. It's very confusing. See, let's say, uh, which function name? I don't get that. Let's say the function name is ABC. So you will give the name. For example, let's say the function name is full name. Okay, it will take first name, it will take last name, and then it will return the full name of the you know user, first name last name. So let's simply print. You can say this is how you can return. So let's use f string concepts here. If you don't know, just watch it. Okay, what is f string? So in f string you can put some variable value. Okay, so this will be curly bracket first name. So first name value will come over here, then there will be some space, then curly bracket again, last name. So the output will be first name space and the last name. So this is full name function that I have created right now. Now I need to call the function, and you have to call the function outside the function. Okay guys, see, this is the function and I'm calling the function outside of it. So this is how you have to call. Sometimes what people do, they call the function inside the function. See, it becomes a recursive call, and that is a very complicated thing. Don't do that thing until and unless you don't understand. Full name. Full name will take two things. Let's give Shravan and Kumar, like this. Okay, so if I run this, see, I'm getting Shravan Kumar as the name. Now let's say I want to return the result of this function into this variable. Okay, let's run it. See, if you're thinking that everything is okay, then you're wrong. First thing, you are assigning something, then why you are getting the output? This is what you should think for, right? See, whenever we assign something, let's say a equals to 40. So when I run this, will I get any output? No. 40 will be assigned directly to a, and that thing should happen here also. But why I have got the output then? Question. Take a pause and think about it. Okay. Now, if you think that this Shravan Kumar name is assigned to this variable full, then you're wrong. Because if I print full, you can see that full has nothing. That is none. See, nothing is coming in the output. Okay. Now, if I write print function, then it will display none. Okay. Because without print, it is not showing any value because full has no value to display. See, full has nothing. That is the place where we use return. If you want to return the result of a function into a variable, then you have to use return. Okay, now take the same example. Let's copy this same example and paste it over here. Now let's say this is full name 1, another function. Now here I will not use print. Instead of this, I will use return keyword, and this will be the result. Okay, now let's run this. See the difference. Okay, oh, what tab? Oh, sorry. See, which function I'm calling? Full name. This function name is full name 1. So these are small mistakes. Full name 1. Run. And this time I am not getting any output. It means something is stored in full. That's why I haven't got the output. But here I was getting the output, right? That is okay if you want to print something in the output screen. But if you want to store something in a variable, then you have to use it. Use a return keyword. Now, if I print full, you can see the data is stored in full. So this is very good because now you can use this data anywhere. Okay. So this is the use of return keyword. First thing, whenever you want to store the result of a function into a variable, then you have to use return keyword. Second thing, return terminates the function as soon as it comes. As soon as it comes. Okay. For example, if I write any other thing, any other return, return 100. See, if I run this, only first value will come because function ends in this return. it doesn't go to return 100, return 20. So that is very important. So your function terminates as soon as it gets return keyword in the line. Got it? Second point to be remembered. Uh, this is how it is working. See, this is how I have been able to store something here. Now, yield. What is yield? This was about return keyword. And let's talk about full, and let's talk about the yield keyword. See, yield is a keyword that can be used in a function to create generator objects. Suppose you want to generate values from 1 to 10. If you write return, it will not give you values because as soon as it returns 1, it will stop. Are you getting me? For example, let's say I'm writing def, this one, def table. It will take one number from you and it will create the table for you. Num, and then what you want to do, you want to use a loop for I in range, okay, 1 to 10. So it will be 1 comma 11, and then what you want to print, you want to print something, and that is, let's say, I into what, number. So num into I, sorry, I, like this, run. So this is a simple table function which will generate a table of a number from 1 to 10. Now let's call this function table and pass the value, let's say 5. So it will be 5 into 1, 5 into 2, 5 into 3, 5 into 4. Run. See, data is printed over here. But see guys, if I store this result in A, nothing will be stored. Okay, let's run this because there is print statement in the function, right? If I write print A, you will see there is none value. Okay, so what you have to use? You have to use return. Now, if I use return, what will happen? Now, some data is stored in A, but what is that? Let's check that also. So the data is only 5 because it is 5 into 1, that is 5. So 5 is returned and the function ended there. Okay, loop has to run from 1 to 11, but it ran only one time. Why? Because there was return, because return terminates your function as soon as it comes. So here return is not a good thing. What you need yield keyword, right? So yield is a keyword which is used to create generator object which generates something. Now here you're generating something from 5 to 50. So generator, it creates generator object, and this is how you can remember things. Now one more thing, yield remembers the state from where it leaves the function. Okay, yield remembers its state from where it leaves the function. Let's copy, paste it, and here instead of return I will be using yield num into I. Let's run this. uh, let's say this is my new table. Okay, one table was made with the name table and this is new table. Now let's call new table and let's pass the value 5. See, see, what is this? This is a generator object. Look at the difference in values. Here, when you have return keyword, it is only returning 5 value, but here you are getting the generator object. See? Now inside this object, I have all the values. Do you want to see those values? See, list, just pass the object to the list. List consumes your object, and whatever is present inside the object, you can see that. So here if I run this, you can see I have all my values in this object. So this is how yield is so useful. Okay, if you want all the values to be stored somewhere, this is the technique that you have to use. Now here you can write what? A. So all this list will be stored to A, right? Which can be used everywhere. See, so if you have a sequence of numbers to generate, or numbers or a string, anything that comes in multiple sequences, then yield should be preferred. If you have some single value to be returned, then use return keyword. If you don't want to store results on a variable, you can simply go ahead with the print statement also. These are the few things that are essentials in function. Okay, so this is about functions, global variable, local variables, return, and yields. Now let's come to recursive functions, lambda functions, map, filter, and reduce. Okay, if you want to take breaks, you can take break, pause the video, and come again. I hope it's not going long, right? So here, let's use recursive function. See, recursive functions are very tricky. Recursive functions are those functions in which we call function inside a function. Means we are calling the same function inside it. So it becomes recursive. Okay. And you should not use recursive functions if you don't understand it, because it consumes a lot of memory. It takes a lot of time also. Okay. Your system can stop working if you are executing a high end program. So recursive functions should be used very carefully. For example, see, I'm writing this function called recur, then bracket here. Okay, let's print the values from 1 to 5 using recursion. Okay, so print I value, let's take I over here, and let's write num, sorry, this is I recur, and here I'm passing the value as 10. So recur 10. If I run this, I will get only 10. I'm not getting anything else. Let's say I want to generate numbers from 1 to 5. If I pass 1, I'm getting only 1. I'm not getting the numbers. Now, what I want to do, I want to call the same function inside of it. So I will write I plus 1. So what is this? It will print 1, and then it will call the same function again with I plus 1, means 1 plus 1, 2. So 2 will be passed here, then print 2 will happen, and then it will pass on. So your program will stuck in the same function. Function, again function, 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 function. Like this it will go on, right? For example, see here what will happen. Let me show you. See over here, this is the main function that you are defining, and here you are calling the function. Now there is one more function which is defined where? Which is defined inside this function. Just look at this line. This line simply means this all code comes to this function. Okay. Now, uh, here you are calling the function. So 1 will be assigned to I, means I value is 1. Then you are printing I, means 1. So output will be 1. And then you are calling the same function. So inside of that function, you have moved again. So see, it is going like this. Again, you have called the function, but this time, what value you are passing to the function? I plus 1 is passed over here. So what is the value? I value is 1. Now 1 plus 1 is 2. It means you are passing 2 to the function. So this value is 2, and then you're coming back to the function with print. So print 2. So 2 will appear on the screen. Then again you are going inside the function. See? Okay. Again with what value? 2 plus 1, that is 3. So print 3. So 3 will come. So how you are going in this function? See, I will draw one diagram. This is how you are moving in this function. Okay, this is a very nice diagram actually. Just now I found this very useful. Actually, this is what's going on inside the function. You are just going inside it. So see, there is no way to come outside. You are just going inside like a spiral. That is why it is a recursive function. And that is a problem. There is one problem if you notice here. There is nothing to stop this function. Just like in while. In the loop, we have a base condition where your while loop terminates, right? In the same way, in a recursive function also, you need something that can stop this recursion. Otherwise, you will just keep on going inside the memory, right? So you need to come outside of this function. So what you need backtracking. So backtracking means you're coming outside of this function like this. This is recursion. Now, uh, first of all, let me just run this so that you can see what I'm saying. So it will execute all the things. Let's run. See, I'm getting 1, 8, 2, 3. See, so many values are generated, okay? And at last you will get recursion error after certain depth. Okay, Python understand if you forget something, your program will stuck and it will go till the infinite recursion depth. Okay, so at certain points it stops the recursion. Okay, it understands now this is the upper limit of recursion. So a user has missed something, he has missed the base condition, so it will give the recursion error and it will stop. See, it is saying maximum recursion depth exceeded. As I said, it is like a spiral. Okay, so up till what depth you will go, Python monitors all those things, and here it has stopped your value. So you need a base condition. That is the important thing that you should understand here. In order to use recursion, the first thing is to define a base condition. Also means at which value your program should stop. So here that thing is missing, so let's define that here. If, okay, give a condition, if I value is less sorry, if it is greater than 5, this thing should be written here, control X, just in the beginning. Here you can define if your I value is greater than 5, then what you can do, you can simply write return with no value. It means return means now the program is end. So your program will come back again, means backtracking will happen. Now your program will stop. See, run. Simple. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is how recursion works. So here I have generated numbers from 1 to 5 using recursion. If you understand recursion, it is very powerful. But if you don't understand, it will eat your brain, because this is a very simple program where I've written. Now you can use recursion, uh, you know, to what examples I can take to work on list also. Okay, using recursion, you can print. Using recursion, you can make a counter that counts from 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let me show you. There are many uses of recursion. I have taken a lecture on recursion. The video for that is present in the YouTube, where I have solved a lot of questions related to recursion functions, where I have used a string as well as many other things. Uh, let's take another example, very good example. First of all, let's make a counter which starts from 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, like this. So it's a number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So in order to make a counter which counts from 5 to 1, 5 to 1, what you have to do, same thing but different values. Let's create another function, def counter. Here it will take one number, okay, from where you want to make the count. Now write a base condition. This is a base condition. So if counter value is less than 0, if it is equal to 0, let's say, then you will stop the function. So you can stop the function using return. Break will not work here because break is a keyword which stops the loop, not a function. If you have to stop a function, you have to use return. Okay, so return. Now keep on printing the num value. Sorry, here in place of counter you should write num, right? Counter is the name of your function, num is a variable. So if num value is equal to 100, then your function will stop. Otherwise it will print the num and it will again call the same function, counter, with reduced value. That is, instead of num plus 1, this time it will be num minus 1. So one by one its value will keep on decreasing. Now this is a function call inside the function, right? Let's execute it. Nothing is happening because this is just the definition of my function. See, not equal to, I have missed something. Okay, double equals to mean I'm comparing something, equal to means I'm assigning. So you have to use double equal to. That was the problem. Okay, so function is defined. Now what you have to do, you have to call the counter function with a value, let's say 5, and when you run this, see, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So this is a counter that we have made. Let's take one more example, okay, for clarity. Let's say uh, I have a text, okay, and hmm, this is the thing that I have written. GRO dot AKDOC. Okay, this is the string that I have written, and what I want to, you know, print the output from the last character to the first character, means from C to G. I want to print the things, but using recursion. So what I can do, I can write a function def, uh, let's say this is uh, this is a ABC function which takes one input, that is INP. Let's say this is a variable, and what it will do, now this is going to be little complicated. I want to store the result into a variable, so it will be, let's say, name variable, and in the name I want to have input plus, so I will get C, then I will hold the program. Okay, uh, then we'll call the ABC function again, and here you have to reduce the size also, so this will be like input of from starting to, minus 1 till minus 2 it will go. Okay, so and here it will be, what I'm doing, I will pass the last value. Let's say, no, this will be input of minus 1, the last value I want, and then I will call the function. Okay, once everything is done, I will return the name. Okay, and when this function will stop, when the length of input is equal to 0, then this function will stop, means just return. See, okay, so input minus 1 means this value C will be written over here, and then I will call the function ABC with the input minus 2. Input minus 2 simply means uh, I will have all the values from the first index to the last, that is till minus 2. I think instead of minus 2 it will be minus 1 because it will stop before C. So this is the text that I want to pass. Let's run, and let's call the function ABC with text. In the text I have already written this data, right? Mm, what it is saying, can only concatenate a string, not none type to a string. So return, okay, it is returning none value, so let's return empty string. Now it is fine. See, CODKA.org, and that is your channel name now. So this channel name is going to change from Ask JOJO to CODKA. So this is the uh, straight name that I have printed from this one. Okay, now how I am doing this is very tricky actually. uh, I will put one link also, so you can click this link that is coming up on this video for recursions. There I have discussed these kinds of questions, but let me explain you how it is working. See, okay, so over here this is a main function and this is a function. This is the same function that I have called inside this function, so it's a recursion, right? See, now in order to start this function, you have to call this. So here I am calling the function ABC with some value. For example, let's say I have given a word hello. I'm passing this hello. So hello will go, let's take another small value. Let's say I am passing this value x, y, z. Okay. And in the output, I am expecting z, y, x. Okay. So how it will work? X, y, z will be assigned to input. So this value will be passed to this input variable x, y, z, and then it will check whether the length of this input is 0. So in this case, you can see the length of this input is 3, not 0. So this line will not work for now. Okay. And then you will come over here, name equals to. So this is a variable in which I am assigning all the values. So here what I'm doing, input -1. So in the input right now, what I'm having x, y, z. And -1 means at -1 index, what is the value? Z. This is -1, this is -2, this is -3, right? So z will be over here. Then plus, and then over here, I have again called the function. See? And what I'm doing, I'm calling the function with input 0:1 means now from index 0 till -1 I'm passing the value. So now only x and y value will be passed, because if let's say I is equal to x, y, z, and I want values from x to y, so what I have to write, x 0:-1. So I will get everything before -1. So x and y. So x, y I'm passing. So I'm again calling the function. This time the value is what? The value is xy, not xyz. See, this time I have passed xy. So again, the length is not equal to 0. So you will come to this function again. So this time z plus. So in this place, here I have called the function, right? So over here, I will get I will get y, because in this string -1 is y. So y will come here, and then you will call this function again. Okay. So this way z plus y plus x will come, and at last it will be printed. Okay. So function inside a function, like this it is going on. Okay. This is recursive. Use it only when you understand it. Otherwise it will eat your brain. It's very, very complicated. Fine. Now this is about recursions. We have more things, for example, lambda functions and map, filter, reduce functions. So what are lambda, map, and filter? So let's see lambda functions. Lambda functions are also called as anonymous functions. Anonymous functions are those functions which does not have any name, and lambda functions don't have any name. Okay, that's why they are called as lambda functions. Okay, these are anonymous functions which does not have any name. How we write lambda functions? See, now this is again one liner in Python. So in order to create a single line function, you can use lambda function. So it increases your utility. So in a single line, you can define a function. In order to write a lambda function, you have to use a lambda keyword. Okay, so lambda x, and this function will return the power of x, power 2 of x. Okay, now create a lambda object. Let's say lambda object is uh, z. Z is a lambda object. So this object has a lambda function. So in order to run this function, just use its object, that is z. Okay, see, now run this. See, now use z object and pass 2, and it will return the value 2 to the power 2 means 4. So 4 will be returned. See, 4 is coming up over here. If you write 8 over here, 8 power 2 means 64 is returning. So in a single line, I have written a function, right? If you don't use lambda, then to do this kind of thing, you need to write def keyword. Then you will write some, you know, let's say power function. Here you will write one variable a, and then it will, you know, uh, it will return something. Let's say return a double start 2, and then you need to call the function power of let's say 8, right? So it is returning something, 64. So here we have three lines, here I have single line. Okay, both are okay, but here you are doing the same thing in a single line. So this is how lambda functions are useful. And not only to numbers, but you can use lambda functions with strings also. Okay, let's get another lambda object, that is z. Okay, this this lambda object will take two things, x plus y, sorry, x comma y equal, sorry, colon. And then what you want to do with x and y, suppose you want to multiply x with uh, let's say you just want to do x plus y. Okay, now this object will take two values because you have defined two parameters over here. So look at the structure of this lambda function. Lambda keyword, x and y are the parameters, this is the expression that you have created, and this is the lambda object. In a lambda function you can have multiple parameters but single expression. You cannot write another expression like this. This is wrong. Only one expression but multiple parameters can be defined. This is very important to note. Okay, so now if I call z object, this time if I pass only 2, it will give me error because this time this function accepts two arguments, not one. So here if you write 2 comma 4, you will get 6 because expression is x plus y, that is 2 plus 4, that is 6. Okay, you can use even odd. Okay, for example, let's write if odd equals to, now this is a lambda object, it will take one value, and what uh, it will return even if x modulo 2 equals to 0, else it will return odd. Simple, you don't have to write return or anything. By default it returns even or odds. Okay, it does not print anything. Let's run this evod. Okay, now if I call this function evod and I pass the value 4 2, let's say 4 2, it will say even. See, in a single line I have written this thing. How cool is it, right? This is why we use lambda functions. Now if I talk about map, filter and reduce, these are some inbuilt functions in Python that can be used to work with the list or iterators, I can say. For example, let's say I have ml equals to numbers 1 comma 2 comma 3 comma 4, and I am saying just uh, multiply each element by 2, means you have to map something in each element. So map function will be used. And how you can use map? Write map. So the first value is a function and second is the iterator. This is the syntax of map. Okay, this is the syntax that you have to follow. So write map, then write the function that you want to do. Okay, here you can write a lambda function. Lambda, what you want to do with x? You want to multiply x with 2. So this is the single one line function. See, that is the use of lambda. And here you have to write the iterator. The iterator is this list ml, that is my list. Okay, so this is one function, this is one iterator. So I have fulfilled the syntax. So this is okay. Now if I run this, I will get map object. As I said, if you want to see what is present in an object, convert it into list. So here just write list of map and you will get the output 2 4 6 8. See, each element is mapped with 2, it is multiplied with 2. So something has happened with each element. Whenever you have to perform these kinds of operation, you have to go with map function. Okay, now in the same way, suppose let's take another example, and here you have two lists, ml1 and ml2, and in this list you have 10 comma 12 comma 13 comma 14. And what you want to do, you want to add these two, you know, list. In that case, you can define two variables over here, x comma y, and here what you want to perform on these x, you want to perform x plus y like this. Okay, and then here you can write more iterators, ml1 comma ml2. So this map function will automatically take the first value from ml1, means x value will come from ml1, y value will come from ml2, and then it will add them up. So this will be the result, 11, 14, 16, 18 like this. Okay, but if you want to give three iterators in map functions, three iterators, I don't think it will work. Let me just check. um, ml1, ml2, ml3, up till two iterators it works, but if I give ml3, in that case I have to write one more variable, let's say xyz, whether it is in map function or filter function, xyz. Okay, does not work like that. Oh, it is working. So you can go ahead with the three iterators also. I was confused with the filter part. Filter takes only two. Okay, here ml1, ml2, ml3. So if you have three parameters in the lambda function, you have to use three iterators like this. So one value will come from each iterator, and accordingly you can define your expression x plus y, x double star, x divide, whatever you want to do. But this is the structure of your map function. Okay, one another example, suppose you have this list. Okay, and you want to convert each numeric number into a string. So simply you can write it like this. In place of lambda, you can write what? You can say, sir, I can use lambda like this, x colon str of x. This is what you need to do in order to convert the elements of ml1 into a string form. And that's okay also. This is not wrong. This is right. See, each number is converted into a string, but there is another shortcut that you can use. We already have a inbuilt string function. So just write str. str is already a inbuilt function. Okay, see, 1, 2, 3, 4. Right? So this is how map function work. Now let's see how filter works. As the name suggests, filter. In the map, each element is used for some operation, but in filter, out of all the elements, you will apply some condition on uh, those elements which satisfies the condition of a filter. You will get the output of those elements. Okay. For example, let's say this is a list, and here I have these numbers. You know that uh, 2, 6, 8, and 10 are the even numbers. So you want to filter them. Means you just want 2, 6, 8, and 10 in the output, not 3, 5. So you need filter now. So in the filter also you have to use list filter, because filter also returns an object. Now the syntax for filter is also the same. You need to write the function, and then you have to write the iterator. So here the filter will be lambda x, and what is the condition? Condition is that x modulo 2 is equals to 0. So this is a condition that will be checked on a particular element, and this x value is coming from where? Coming from ml. And see, 2, 6, 8, 10. 3, 5 is not coming in the output. Okay, so the length of the output is less than the length of the input, because only those results will be returned that will satisfy this condition. Means the numbers which are divisible by 2 will be returned, and according to this you can apply this condition on strings also. For example, if I use filter, let's say I have some names over here. Okay, names equals to Lily, names equals to GP, names equals to um, let's say Shivam. Okay, and name is equals to Prakash, like this. So these are some names, and I am saying just to print those names whose length is less than 5, less than 5. So Lily and GP will filter out. Okay, because their length of name is less than 5. This is 4 letter, this is 2 letter. So I will use list. I will copy this. Okay, see, it's the same thing here. Just write x. What you need to write here? length of x is less than 5. Simple. Instead of ml, just write name. Simple. See, Lily and JP. This is how filter is working. And let's quickly talk about reduce functions. See, reduce uh, reduce is not present over here. In order to use reduce function, you need to use some other library, and that library is called functools. Okay, so you need to import reduce function from functools library. So how you have to do? From functools import reduce. This is how you need to import this function from functools. Now you can use reduce without list because it gives you a value, not a object. Here the syntax is same, function and iterator. So suppose this is what I want, x comma y, and then I want to return x into y. Okay, then comma, and the iterator is going to be ml. And what is in ml? In ml I'm having, let's say, 1 2 3 4 and 5. Okay, so I want to multiply each number like this: 1 into 2, 2 into 3, 3 into 4, 4 into 5. So at last I will get some value, and that is 120. So this is how reduce will work. If I run this, see, 120. Okay, so you can say, sir, you have written two variables here and you are passing only one iterator. So this is how reduce work. Okay, in reduce what happens basically, see here, in reduce you have 1 2 3 4 5, 1 2 3 4 and 5. So reduce function automatically assigns the first element of your iterator to x and second element into y. Okay, so x into y, this becomes 2. 1 into 2, 2. Now this becomes your x and another value becomes your y. So again x into y means 2 into 3, that is 6. Now this will become x and this will become y. So 6 into 4, that is 24. This is x and this is y. So 24 into 5, it will become 120, and that is the output you are getting. Since the output is a single thing, it could be a string, it could be a number also. That's why it does not require you to convert it into list. It's already, it can already be seen with very easily. That's why there is no need to write list or tuple or anything over here. So this is how reduce work. Okay, even you can use reduce with other kind of iterators in which you have string. Just think about the problem and solve it using reduce. So this is all about um, list comprehensions, dictionary comprehensions, functions, recursion functions, and lambda functions, map, filter, reduce. These are some of the most asked things from Python which I have discussed over here. Now it's your time to implement them, to practice them. Okay, that's it for this video. I hope you have liked this. If you enjoyed this session, you can share this video with your friends and people who want Python. Okay, I will meet you in the next part of this series. Till then, you can just take care, keep chilling. Bye bye.